Got a job I'm gonna do today on this seat right here. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. Maybe you can see there. All right, and I'm gonna explain how to do this right here. It's gonna be a quick job. I'm gonna do it real quick. So, you know, time is money. I hadn't even really looked at it close. I just set it up here on the table. But you see, it's worn out pretty bad. You do stuff for people like this when they got a roll back and they can kind of help you back. So that's what I'm doing. He does some stuff for me. And his name is, you seen my title, it said doing a seat for Lion Brian. Well, his name is Lion Brian. And that's what everybody calls him. So a lot of times whenever you start on something like this, you see it's wore out on this side, the pattern's stretched, it's pulled this away. We're not going to do the back part of it, even though it's all tore up. And it is real dirty, so the color that I'm going to put on it ain't going to match just right. It's going to be this color gray. I might wipe it down for just a second and let a few people get on, being they're watching it live. This is a rollback seat. It's probably got 1,000,000 miles on it. I don't really like touching something that's that dirty. So I'm just gonna wipe it down, let that sit, spray a little bathroom cleaner on there. Just let that sit. All right, I had took the day off. Wasn't going to work today, but he said that he really needed this. And if you're in the upholstery business, everybody that you see is going to tell you that they really need it. Really need it, like right then. So I'm just letting that sit for just a minute. That bathroom cleaner, I'm not sure if it's going to touch that. I got a brush. Let me get a brush on a drill, and I'm going to see if I can't brush it for just a little bit. Help me scrub it. Lion Brian. He can't help it, y'all. He's tried. I'm just cleaning it up just a little bit so I don't have to I don't want to get that dirty today. Alright, so it's been just a few minutes. What we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start taking this seat apart. Let y'all see how it's done. Man, that's dirty. Alright, it is cleaner, it just don't look no better. Okay. Cleaner, just don't look no better. When Wesley was over here, he was a better cameraman. He could zoom in, move it in. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take this right here, take this bottom right here apart. I'll show you how to fix that. I'm not gonna put a lot of time in this. I'm not gonna put no time much in this because I'm doing this for just this like a friend. It's a favor thing, even though he tells a damn bunch of lies a lot, but he is a good guy. But what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna fix him up real quick to where he's this right here can hurt your back. That sitting down on that can really hurt your back if you're riding very far. So I'm just gonna kind of help him out. When you take a seat like this apart, just what we're gonna do is we're gonna this side, the inside part right here is in a lot better shape than the climbing in and out of the seat part. So I'm gonna use part of this as just an idea to get an idea about where it's at. So what do you want to do? You want to fix this as fast as you can. You don't want to put no whole bunch of time in it, because I got a bunch of other stuff I got to do today. But I'm going to show you how to do this really quick. I could probably put duct tape on it quicker. And then tell him I recovered it. This is the reason right here you don't walk around in the upholstery shop barefooted. These hog rings will get in your shoes and in your feet. If you look, the way they done that was they pulled this right here around, and that seat has got a little place right there to put a hog ring in. So you pull that, and whenever I put this cover back on, I'll show you that this right here, that's what pulls the wrinkles and stuff out of the sides. But when somebody will do you a favor, like old Lion Brian, you know, it's good to try to return it if you can. Because he'll come, it don't matter whenever. He will show up. Alright, and that's it. Fixed. That much of it is. All these seats right here have that little wiggle. Have that little wiggle in it. That looks horrible. Hold tight. All right, everybody. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this seat right here, try to fix it pretty quick. It is wore out. I think he got the goodie out of it. I usually just take it like this and square it off. Like this. So I'm just cutting that much of it off. My knife really is about wore out. The gears and stuff in it will mess up. It would cut quicker than that, but I buy it. About then got this one ready to go to the trash can. Just get you a good block like this. Lay this up here. All right, now if I'm making that flat, that's one thing. I might need to come down just a little bit like this right here. Just a little bit. Remark it. Okay. X that right there out. Hey y'all, that just gonna take a little bit too long. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring you back here to this saw. That one right there. Sometimes it's best to if you got one, take your bandsaw and cut that piece right there out like that. And this part right here, this part, you see how it's up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it a little bit of the angle like this. You better get the right angle. So, side to side. I'm just gonna cut it a little bit of the angle like that's right here. I may have to trim that piece up with the, I may have to trim this up with the little handheld saw. That way. That way we can get it just right. So it's like this. I'm just gonna glue it in like this. You see, I just kind of got a little bit of a shape on it. Really don't want to have to smell that glue today, so I'm gonna plug up this exhaust fan. Let it suck any of that smell out. You want to put this well wood on here. said at the beginning of the video, I'm in a little bit of a hurry on it. I don't want to be up here real long. I'm still gonna fix it good, but okay. I'm gonna let that, while that's drying just a little bit. While that's drying just a little bit, we're gonna start on this cover right here. Alright. We see it's all the pieces, it's turned this way and that way. Here's the box, and I think one part of it's probably pretty good on this side. Make sure there ain't no boogers on there. We don't like those. Okay, so we got that fixed. We're gonna take this right here. See if I can figure out where halfway is on it. This might be something where I might just need to cut this out because that pattern right there is pretty messed up. I might sew his piece right here back on. The carpet. Hey, it's a patch. I mean, you can't make chicken salad out of this. You think I'm kidding? I cut this right here out backwards. Shit. Hey, it happens. It can happen. It can happen to anybody. All right, we're gonna lay this back up here again. Just like this. We're gonna come just like this. Let me go cut this piece real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, let's start over. This piece right here goes just like this. So I'm gonna put it back in there. Spray a little bit more glue on it. Okay, that's the good thing. You can glue it and glue it again if you have to. Alright, so we're going to throw all this right here away. All this trash. This piece right here that's busted open, try to push it back together. you take this piece right here and you leave the high side on this side, see, because the bolster on this side right here. So we're gonna come just like this, where you can see it, just like this. Okay, there you go. Just like that. And then you got your bolster on this side. So we're gonna take this knife that ain't great. I'm gonna look at this side right here and get an idea of how high I got to go. I hope there's another one up here. These knives can't take the torture that they go through in a upholstery shop. Let's see if this one does it any better. All right, so that does cut it down just a little bit better. Bring you down. Maybe you can see something. Alright. So I'm wanting to keep this high. I don't want to come down in here too deep yet. You see this side, it's kind of rounded. This side right here, we can achieve that right there by grinding it. You can't cut the whole thing. You cannot do the whole thing with a knife. I mean, you can get close, but you can't do the whole thing that way. And this side right here is going down. See? It's rounded. So what am I gonna do? If you wanted to, you could take a piece of cardboard or something. If you ain't real good at this, you could take a piece of cardboard and trace that right there and come over here and stick it on this side. But see, I can look at that side right there and tell just like this. Alright. When I cut that line right here that I drawed on there, it does have a couple more lines on it. I'll show you. Told Wesley we wasn't gonna work today, but I did tell him I was gonna do this right here, this job. Alright, you see how this side right here goes down in? It like goes down, even though it's kind of wore out, you know, it still goes down. It's just a smooth piece, and this piece right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this piece right here, and you see how it's sticking over the edge right here? That much meat right there on the side. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just trim all that down. Just like that. See, it's starting to take a little bit more shape. That's the way you do it. Come in here. You trim these sides. You take your time with this. You do not try to come in here and do all of it at one time and make one cut. You have to do it a little bit at a time. Eye and hand coordination with this right here. That way, it's going to cut down on your mistakes. You'll make enough of them anyway. What did I do with that piece? I had that little piece. I might stick it back on there. It really looks pretty bad. The rest of it looks pretty bad too. Like that. I'm telling you, this thing is slapped full of dirt. You come in here and you mark it on the inside, trace the foam that you already got right there, like that. You see where I traced it, so it ain't no. We're not trying to build a rocket ship. We're just trying to put this thing right together. Damn, I should have went out in the yard and filled up some holes. All that dirt. Okay, I'm gonna stick that little piece right there back on it. Try to hold a few of these pieces together. Got a piece of headliner right here. I'm just going to take and stick that over there just because. I think it'll hold some of them pieces together. Alright, while stuff like this right here dries, to speed up the process, you take and stick it over here out of the way. And let it be drying. Don't let it hold you up. Alright, we got the material right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut the boxing. Actually what we call the boxing. That's this part right here. And why somebody sewed that stitch line in there had to be just for looks, because it wasn't serving zero purpose. Alright, y'all seen me draw before, but somebody might not have. The way I do it is, to get my straight lines, is I come just like this right here. I hold that pen just like that, and I use these fingers right here. to rest the marker on, like that. Because why? It's easier to drag your hand like this than it is to try to hold that marker and do it like this. So, I rest my hand, I drag it like this. When I skip a place, like from here to here, I just put me a line there and then I come back and draw a straight one. Right here, same way. Right here, right there. Come down here. This right here, I need to put me a loop in here, so I'm gonna make it about 1 inch bigger. Just like that. That's how it's done. You come right here, draw your straight line, come right here. If you're not good at straight lines, get your ruler. Come right on the opposite side. I'll try to explain this to you. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I don't get to see your comments that much. Believe it or not, I do have a big screen TV that I got to put up here. I got a whole bunch of stuff that I bought over the year or so and never even put it together, but I am. Wesley's finally come back to work, so he's gonna help me do some of this stuff. So anyway, when you're doing this right here, when you're tracing this right here, it's so easy to move it. I mean, that piece of material just moves like it's nothing. So what you do is you lightly draw that line. I'm barely touching up next to that material. Almost the weight of the markers on it. That's the way you cut it out. This was free. I should have made it in purple or polka dots or pink or something like that. He would have liked that. You pull your piece of foam back over here. You take it like this, and you glue these pieces right here, right back into place, right around the edge. And if you got some loose spots that ain't touching, that you didn't glue, make sure you glue them. Stick it back to the side. You come right here. You got this piece like this right here. All right. Now we know that's about basically the size that is. So I'm gonna come right here. And I'm just gonna cut out a square. Like that. I may square it up. If you're in this business right here, wherever my square is, I don't see it now. You're gonna have to have a square. Being as I know one side of this is square, I'm gonna try to. You need a square. I got mine somewhere. Here it is. Okay. Always get you a square. Like I said, this side right here is straight, because that was the edge of the material. And who knows who that is. Maybe I can catch it in a little while, but today is my day off, what I was gonna do some work. I have a friend of mine, he answers the phone and says, "This is Tom with the Federal Bureau of Investigation," and they'll hang up right then. He just laughs. So, telemarketers don't like that. Okay, we got us a square piece here, and that's about all we needed, was just something a little bigger than what we had to work with. Alright, so we're going to take this. Remember this I was going to put on there? We're going to put this on there. It's just a piece of headliner. It's not necessarily giving it no extra pad, but it does have some splits and stuff in the front, and I want to cover them splits up because I pushed them back together. Alright, and you see as I go around it, I'm looking, and there's some more splits. Here's some more all the way around it. So what I'm gonna do is while I'm working on this cover, I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on that and let it be sitting, because it does need to. This is called a contact adhesive, so it's better whenever it dries a little bit, then you stick it together. Okay. That look close? No? Maybe this will make it look a little better. Or a little closer. Being Wesley ain't here, I'll take that weight and put it there. But I'm gonna bring you down where you might can see a little bit closer about what I'm doing. Okay, maybe right about there. Move my ruler. Don't want to know. That's a 36 grit paper on here. It's an Orbital sander. It's they call it a Bondo Buster. I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna make this side look like this side. I don't push down on this. I lightly sand it. I'm holding it up. I don't want to ground too deep. So I'm going to show you how that turned out and what it's supposed to look like whenever you get done with it. Now let me show you something. You see this crap on my shirt? All that foam? It don't like to come off. Alright, so that right there is basically the way it's supposed to look. I mean, I could cut it down in there, but that right there's wow. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. It's pretty smooth all the way around. I'm gonna take and glue this right up here back where I sprayed it, where it's busted. And the truth be known, it was probably, this truck had a bunch of miles on it when he bought it, so it was probably in real bad shape. Alright, being as the seat was wore slap out, take this piece right here. Just like that. To get the contours down in here, I am supposed to cut this right in here, or it's gonna not look. You see the wrinkles right here, right there. You see the wrinkles? That, this. You got to get them out somehow. So what I'm gonna do is, I think I got enough material. You know, you got to have a 1/2 inch basically to sew it, and a 1/2 inch here to sew it, so that's 1 inch and 1 inch. And then you got to have a 1/2 inch to go around the edge. So, let's see which is longer. I think that right there is longer. So, what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna cut it and sew it all back together. It's not no real big deal. Like that. See, it's gonna go down in the contour right in there. This side right here, I'm gonna move it over. Like this. And you see how much material's hanging over up here now. You see? That's about 1 inch or so. So to get that out, I've got to come in here and do it just like this. Hey, if this was somebody's really, really nice car, I'd probably be doing it a little bit different. But it ain't. And I'm just gonna roll this over right here where I know the edge is. Right. Leaving enough. You know, because you got to have that 1/2 inch to sew this piece right here and this piece right here back on. So you want to leave that 1/2 inch. Know that you got enough right there. I'm just going to take it and set it down just like this. And here's my pattern. Alright, I'm going to take this side right here. I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to cut my pattern for this side. I ain't even got to cut that side. But because I know I'm gonna lay it on, I'm gonna fold it over once I get this side right here done. I'm gonna fold it over, and I'm just gonna get my pattern just like I just done. Okay. That's it. It didn't have no padding in it before, but I do want to make the seat a little bit more comfortable. And this is gonna actually make it sit a little bit better. I could make it look better by sewing lines in it, but the needle does cut the material if you sew through it. I hear somebody knocking on my front door. I might turn it around. If you sew lines in it, that's job security. Because eventually it will tear. I mean, without lines in it, it don't last. It lasts longer. Don't look as good, but it lasts longer. Okay. I am, but I'm doing a YouTube video, but I mean, I can walk out there. All right. Okay. All right. Thanks. Hey, everybody. We get customers out here all the time. So I'm gonna take y'all out here, set you up, and bring you along. All right, I'll be right back.
That's the thing when you're talking about the insurance. Well, the insurance thing about guaranteed policies and life or something like that. But anyway, I appreciate it. I'll run things out. I'm gonna put it right here. Maybe like 205 or 204.
All right, thanks. Well, y'all, when you tell somebody it's $1,200 to cover their Toyota seat, it's a little bit of a shock. But, you know, things is high. I can't help it. Things is high. Hey, but I'm doing this one right here for nothing. I'm gonna do this one right here. I ain't charging them. In the middle of the night, he would come get me if something was happening. I mean, he might lie a little bit, but he would show up. Okay. It did have an anchor right here. Y'all see it? It did have an anchor there. I may put that anchor back in. Just right there. So just so I know it's on the same side. Exactly right. And we'll go over there and I'll sew this right here up. Now this part right here, I'm gonna have to come back around here. Once I put it up here, I'm gonna mark it around the edge, and I'm gonna that way it's not gonna be like this one right here that's all stretched. You see that joker right there was pulled to one side real bad. So from getting in and out of it over the years. So let's come right on over here. Just like so. Hey, I could try, you know, to get it to where you might could see it a little bit better, but this right here is the little loop. See, it's folded like this. It's folded into a loop. This is called listing, and it goes right across here to hold the anchor. Now sometimes when you do this listing, you need to look at the groove over there on that foam. If the groove is deep, then you can leave it long. That's about 1.5 inches. Damn, something's got my nose. But if it's a narrow groove, you need to allow for your sewing. And I need to cut about 1/2 inch of this right here off. Just like this. Being as I got my line, I'm gonna line this right here right up. I ain't even checked the thread to make sure I got enough to go across it. And that is a wise thing to do. I got very little, but I think it's enough. So I'll take it back out in just a second. Okay. Okay. Being as I didn't set up for today, I'm gonna have to wind the bobbin. I bought a whole bunch of these bobbins. That's a little bit thicker than my bobbin case. But I did make a little stand over here. Like, you see that stand right there? Right there? I made that. And then I took and put a little piece of vacuum line on it. Just like that to hold it in place. And I come right here. And I transfer these bobbins. That's real good thread. But what it is it's I bought them bobbins cheap. So it ain't that big of a deal to transfer it over. So I just come just like this right here. Just like that. Transfer it right on down to this bobbin right here. And then while you're winding one, if you got a little bit left on this bobbin here, you can just pull it off. You could sew with it until it run out, but then you might get caught up to where it's right in the middle of something that you don't want to have to pull the thread and tie it and all that kind of stuff. So come right here, get you another one. That bobbin there will wind. There was enough on that bobbin to wind 2 of my bobbins here. I do have a bunch of pound cones of black, but I'd have to do that anyway. The only thing is I got to put the bobbin on. When I could see good, I could do some faster work. Alright, so here's our piece. It's sewed on there. I'm gonna take this piece right here, and you see the notch right here, right here. So I'm gonna take it, stick it just like this, right there. Just like right there. You probably want to take and put you a mark right there where they both go. Just like that. You see how that's standing up? It's going to be standing up on the seat the same way. See? It's the way it's arched. Get the angle that you need. I got my line right here, so I'm going to line it up right here with this thread. Alright, I'm going to take these pieces right here. They don't have no pad on them. I'm just going to sew them together. And I'm going to put a top stitch on it. It had a French stitch, like where you bust the seam, it had that on there. But you seen the seat. Oh man. It's a work truck. Remember we talked about this at the first of the video? I made that 1 inch longer, so I'm gonna fold this right here over. 1 inch. So we're coming right here, 1 inch. If you want to cover any tighter, fold it over more than 1 inch. Shit, look at this. What happened? Oh, there it is. There's the culprit right there. It's wrapped around my tensioner. Okay, so I'm gonna try to cut some of them stitches off. If you want to start off where it don't pull, you see this right here? Start with that at the top. You don't even have to hold the thread. You can remember to do that every time. Alright, so we got this much done. We got that carpet over there that's slap full of dirt. So we'll go over there to that carpet and I may try to blow it out just a little bit. Pick you up on the other side. Wesley is so good of a cameraman. Whenever he's here, I don't have to hold the camera. It's just right. He thought he wasn't doing a great job the other day, but he was doing such a good job. Okay, so you see, I got my seat. It's laying up. It don't have the wrinkles and stuff in it that it had before. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna come right here on this side, right about there, and I'm gonna cut around this. Okay, so there's my piece. I've got that right here cut out, just like that. I'm gonna come right over here. I'm gonna fold this seat cover over. I'm gonna line it up right here, just like that. Take my marker. And there it is. Just like that. How do I know it's gonna fit? I just do. I've just done this so long, I don't know. "44 years of eating pudding, you'd know exactly what pudding tastes like." Oh. Okay. Here's that carpet right there. I need to, really, it needs to be blowed out over a mud hole so it would fill up the hole. Because I'm telling you, this right here, this one thing right here, I'm going to tell you what it'll do. This right here will get down in your bobbin hook. Right here, that little bit of dirt, it don't take much, just a little bit, just a little. It gets down in your bobbin hook, and that sewing machine over there will get sick, and it will act a fool. Like you ain't never had it act a fool before. A tarp on the back of a truck, anything that's really dirty, better take a precaution and do exactly what I'm doing right here. Blow that out. Throw it in a washing machine. All these seat covers, it dulls your knife whenever you're cutting it apart. I'm telling you, warning you, get you some way. I'm gonna use this right here. It's just right here. I'm just gonna make a. I'm gonna cut some strips, and then I'm gonna use it for binding. That's all. And that might be enough. Alright, so now we're gonna go back. I'm gonna throw it back over there. Alright, right there maybe. I think that people messed that car up whenever I told them how much it was to fix that truck seat. Messed that thing up. Maybe not. You seen me cut across this right here when I was cutting it out, so what I'm gonna do is tack it back, just like this. Back stitch it. Back stitch it. Just so it don't pull apart, because you don't want it you don't have to do what I'm doing right here. All I'm doing is just sewing around it. I usually do this right here. The factory does it. All right, I'm gonna take this piece right here, back you up so we can kind of see a little bit better. Right here, you take this piece and you fold it. Go right here to your seams, just like that. Put your V in it. A lot of people take and they mark it all the way around the cover. They do. I've watched YouTube videos with people doing that. And they sit there and they do that and they do it over. I mean, they just do that a lot. But you can do it. You can sit right here. If you got a bunch of time, and you can sit right here and you can mark it and go all the way around it. And that ain't a bad idea. It's a good idea if you got that time. But I do this right here for a living every day. And once you get good enough at it, you might not have to mark it like that right there all the time, because you might be in a hurry, like me. You see that lined up right there, that notch that I put in there? You see? So I'm gonna come right here, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around it. Sometimes you need to know where to push that material or pull it, just a little. Push it or pull it. But it needs to, a lot of times going around a curve, a lot of times you need to hold it, not push it too much, but just a little, because you don't want to pull it going around the curves. If that makes any sense. And I want you to see right here, there's my seam. Okay, and there's my notch. So I'm lined up exactly right there. Maybe you can tell, maybe you can't. Right here, my notch, my seam. So you always want them right there to line up. If it's a 1/2 inch this away, over here, then you're gonna be 1 inch when you get back over here. If it's over a 1/2 inch right here, then you're gonna be over 1 inch when you get down here, unless you push it or pull it, whichever way, and then the cover sometimes is gonna look like this. It ain't gonna be lined up, it's gonna be a little twisty like that. And it ain't gonna line up just right. So sometimes if you're over too much, if it's just a tad, you can correct it. This ain't like doing furniture. And all I'm gonna do is put a top stitch on it. That's it. Top stitch is whenever I'm gonna lay this material down right here, and I'm gonna lay this right here over it, and I'm gonna put a top stitch. It makes it stronger. I'm not busting the seam. I'm not gonna put a French seam in it. The seat looks like crap. Anyway. You might have to have some pretty good shoulders to pull all that apart, because I'm pulling that like that way and that way to pull it apart and make it lay down. And it can wear on your shoulder. You ain't used to it. Alright, remember that single piece of material I had right here? And I said I needed to make some listing. This is what I'm fitting to do with it. After I get that piece of carpet, I think the listing went over to the carpet. Yeah. You see this listing right? Come on. You see this listing right here? Right here? It goes around the edge of your carpet. Well, see, it went right here. And they used black listing. It was kind of like that right there. When they sewed it on. But what I'm gonna do is I may trim that just a little bit, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew this piece right here in place with all its dirt and glory. Make sure you get all that dirt out. Any dirt get down in there, have you singing the blues. What I'm doing here is I'm just trimming it back to the edge. I might have made that long enough to just fold over, and I'm not going to fold it over. Check this out. Can you see that? I'm going to show it to you. Do you see that dirt? Look. I mean, that ain't nothing but dirt right there. Like damn river sand or something. Right there. You can't get it out. And if it gets down in the needle, it might not hurt nothing, but it might not hurt the needle much. But when it gets down in here, down in here, down in here, messing with that stuff down there. I turned down work before that was that slap full of dirt. I just don't do dirt too good. Spend all day trying to get your sewing machine. You're wondering, why is my sewing machine skipping? Well, hell, it ain't designed to sew dirt. That's why. If you watched the whole video, whenever I was taking it apart, that's the part right there. I said that they pull that right there back to take the wrinkles and stuff out. I'll show you whenever I put it back together. That wire right there caught my thread. Alright, what I'm gonna do is, when I sew this when I sew this listing on here, I'm gonna try to explain to you what I'm doing. I could sew it on the top side the first time, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fold it under like this. And I'm gonna sew it right in that seam right there where the I'm gonna sew it right in that seam right here where it was kind of put together to start with. That way it basically hides your stitch. Just like that. You want to just kind of hide the stitch. If I was doing something super nice, this thing's got me coughing. Alright, so almost done, almost ready to put the cover on as soon as I get back around. There's different ways you can do this. You can do it like this, or either you can just fold it over and glue it. You won't have no stitching or nothing on it, just this stitch that I'm putting in right here. Some people do it all kind of ways, but for right this second, I'm doing it this way. I'm having to force feed this thread through that needle. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm just folding it back down, just like that right there. I'm gonna go around this edge, laying it down. Pretty much hiding the stitch, not that it's gonna make one bit of difference. I could put a top stitch on it, it ain't gonna matter. Especially on this truck, it ain't gonna matter. This thing will be covered with, who knows, probably something worse than COVID. Alright, there we go, that's it. That's all it was to it. Even though it's done took, let me see how much am I worn. How long has this been going on? It's 11:50. So most of the morning to do this, maybe a couple of hours. If I was doing this for somebody, just say somebody come up here and I'm doing this right here, this job right here would have been about $400. Because a bucket seat is $800, and this one right here needed a lot of work, a lot of foam work and stuff like that. I don't know who that was, but anyway. Here's the wire that come out of it, so I'm gonna stick it right. Sometimes you sew them edges down. I didn't have to make it that long, but I'm gonna stick this wire in here sometime today. All right. And here we go. All right, I got the wire stuck in there. I'm just gonna hog ring this right here down. We're gonna have 3 in it. I will get rough with it. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is, let me back you up where you might see a little bit more. I'm gonna cut me a piece of wire, lock that piece of wire in there. I'm gonna straighten me a piece of wire up where I can go around that bottom. Twisting that wire with a drill does make it kind of stiff and straight. So I'm gonna come right around here. Come on. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just hog ring this bottom on here, like this. Make sure you got everything lined up through the center. Just like that. That's what you do. Remember these pieces right here? They were hog ringed up here. And I said you got to pull that to get the any wrinkles out of it. That's exactly what I just done. I'm gonna do it the same way on this side. If you do somehow or another have a small wrinkle in it, what you do is you take your steamer and you get it out, or attempt to get it out, according to how bad it is. If it's crazy, it's probably not coming out. That right there had Velcro on it. So I'm fitting to put some liquid Velcro on it. That's how you put liquid Velcro on it. Yeah. 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 I'm making a video. I'll call you back. That was the little bird in the nest wanting something to eat. So you take it just like that and just glue it around. It'll be right there. Let's look at the top side. Alright. That does move. The bottom does move because it's got an adjustment right here and right here to where you turn it on the edge of the seat, and what it does is it helps with the person's legs. So it does move like that. Not much, but you see that pin right here, that hole right here, and this hole right here, it ain't got but 2 bolts. That right there. And these 2 bolts right here, it's just a pin that goes through there. It allows this right here to move. I could hit that with a steamer and it would be gone, but basically that's it. That's what it takes to do it. Hope y'all like it. Maybe you might learn something. I'm not the greatest teacher, but maybe you can pick up a couple of things that maybe I didn't even explain if you watch it. So I want to tell everybody thank you for watching. The guy with the Volkswagen door panels, we are going to get your door panels. Probably start on them very, very, very soon, even though it's been a long time. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Thanks.